Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Daily Refinement. As Beth was chatting about before we started the call, this channel is about daily refinement. On Wednesdays, we stream this call on YouTube. Other days, we do it privately in our Patreon group. So today, the topic is going to be what happens if you are suspended on eBay. I wonder if everybody else has a backup plan. For me personally, there's something that would be way more devastating than being suspended on eBay, although this is a big blow, both the credibility and also income. But the thing that matters more monetarily to me would be if I lost my suppliers, because essentially eBay is a marketing platform. I can still sell my goods on other platforms. So that it's a much bigger blow if I cannot do that. If I would be like eBay was the only place I could sell something, I would be in big trouble. But since there's a lot of platforms to sell what I sell, which is used clothing, I'd probably be fine. And the amount that I'm buying is so large, it gives me lots of options. So, I've been thinking about protecting my supply for a long time, but that became more I guess accelerated once the pandemic hit, because I had more employees and I was worried about supply drying up. So, I've been selling way more than I need for a long time. And for me, eBay actually is still a secondary income for me. So I'm not, people would ask, what does my wife think? She is surprisingly not worried, but she is disappointed, but she's surprisingly not worried because she had always wondered what would happen if something happened to me. So we did life insurance, we did a living trust, spoke to a lawyer on what happens when you die, and the lawyer said, do not leave, because we went to the lawyer right when a daughter was born. She said, or the lawyer said, do not leave your daughter the eBay store. She doesn't want the eBay store. She wants real estate or stocks or money. So figure out what's going to happen to you when you're gone, before you're gone. So that was essentially the idea. So we've always thought about, how do you do it? The last few months, we've been talking about how do you automate your store, even on a small scale. I thought a lot about Sally's 1,000 item store, 10 in, 10 out. You could have somebody help you do that and be kind of automated. Somebody could go find 10 items a day, list, ship for you. You could totally outsource that. And also, I do feel a sense of relief in the sense that there's a lot of mechanics that go into running thousands of items. So it's like a lot less mental real estate. So it's going to be interesting to think about what happens with me switching platforms is just going to mean my income moves from one platform to the other. It's just going to be temporary as I build that up. And as I build it up this time, I'm not in a hurry. So it'll be very different than, don't have to make as many mistakes along the way. But if anybody wants to share with what they would do if they get suspended on eBay, I don't know, Isaiah, have you thought about this? What would you do?
The initial idea is to probably move my shoes over the Poshmark. It's a relatively okay platform for shoes. The weight advantages are pretty useful. Just got to figure out how to get around the sharing wall, and ensure that I can grow to my heart's content. But like ideally, I'd probably just switch my inventory over to a different platform, and then just continue rolling from there. That's always been my thought process. You get banned on eBay, it's time to start listing on Poshmark.
So switch to a different platform.
Most likely, unless I have some spurt of passion and decide that I want to just go into an entirely different direction with my life. But I think the smartest thing to do would be continue rolling the snowball that I've created so far. And just because I run into a bump on eBay, that doesn't mean that I should stop the snowball. Because it's really easy in a situation like this to go, all right, I'm going to try to learn how to sell bananas at scale, but you don't know anything about bananas. And if I focus on shoes for an extended period of time, then the momentum I'm going to have is going to be unstoppable. That's what I think it was.
Taylor?
Hey, one thing that I think is unique about your situation is that you have such a following on YouTube, and all of these different resellers are some of them are having difficulty sourcing. So I almost wouldn't be too surprised if you just set up a Squarespace website and said, hey, do you want a sourcing box? And then you have no 13% fees for sending wholesale out to people. I think that'd be, that's one, just because you have so many people that are getting started, that having a box sent to their front door could be very advantageous.
Absolutely. I mean, I have been selling some wholesale. So over I would say during the beginning of the pandemic, I was buying 2,000 items a week because I didn't know what was going to happen. So I still have a huge backlog. So I'm not like, I might be ramen retirable. I'm definitely barista FI. If you guys follow the financial independent movement, if I worked at a coffee shop, I could pay my bills. So I don't have to go hardcore and make six figures to survive. But I don't want to be ramen profitable. That's not enough for me. And plus I have a family. So it's not only about me. So I will get back to work. But I can because I have supply, I still have oxygen. I just lost the outlet. So also, it's interesting. I cannot believe how common this is. There was like a lot, I have to apologize to Franchise Kicks. I think he left a comment that I removed, and I don't remove very many comments, but I just don't want people speculating. That's not the point. The point of the video yesterday was to let people know, don't do things that you can't prove on eBay. And if you're going to go the heavier route of selling high-end stuff, be very careful because it's going to be reviewed with the fine-tooth comb, and you have to be able to prove where you got stuff. Cheaper stuff is not really an issue. In all my years of doing eBay, I don't have any suspension evidence for thrifted clothing at all. I have tons of evidence for people getting suspended for high-end items, thousands of examples. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a gentleman, the Franchise Kicks channel, I'm assuming he has because he has a verified channel. He has had problems with this, but I just don't want people speculating. I don't want people thinking like, okay, how can I sell high-end stuff and get away with it? That's not the point. The point is try to avoid it. Try to do like a under $30 model, under $50 model. And if you're going to treat reselling as a career, you have to understand that there has to be a way to move to a different platform. Sally?
This, despite your hardship in this, it's a valuable lesson to me in that it's a reminder that crap happens. And so you need to diversify. Just like if you're going to invest in the stock market, you don't put all your money in pork belly futures.
Yeah.
So some things that I do require my immediate attention and activity, like eBay. There are others that are passive. So first of all, plan ahead and diversify so that if you get hit in one area, you still can survive. But as far as if I were suspended from eBay, it would depend obviously on if it was temporary or permanent. If it was temporary, I would say, wow, look at my opportunity to do a giant reset this week and just get all the things done to reset, to come out stronger on the other end. If it were permanent, I'd really consider creating a small Rolodex of people who would want me to supply for them, a small Rolodex, so that I could almost curate their sourcing for them because I'm good at some things. So those are my three things is, one, diversify, and two, have a couple plan B's and C's for what you would do with your immediate stock if you were permanently banned or what would you temporarily squeeze the juice out of that lemon and make some lemonade, I guess.
Yep. People in the chat are saying that it's kind of like Amazon. I mean, Amazon is definitely, in my opinion, more strict. So brands are more involved because it's more a retailer. eBay is more like a flea market in a sense that almost anything goes. You can sell anything. So any sudden spikes, any changes in your behavior will result in review. So yeah, finding good inventory is a hard part of reselling. It's not the only part, but I don't have that much inventory. If I put it up for sale, it will sell immediately. If I decide to go that route, it's not like I'm buying truckloads. So, and I think last night I was thinking it definitely would be a disservice if I don't show what I do next, because this could happen to everyone, and at least people will have an idea. Maybe people will feel better if they know I survived or pivoted. And this could be one of those moments where you think, oh, that was the best thing that happened to me, although I don't think this is the best thing that happened to me. Eduardo, can you chat? You have a relatively large operation. You have staff. What would you do if you lost your eBay account?
Man, I've been thinking ever since this happened to you, and like, cause when we were talking about before that people were doing Poshmark and we're doing Mercari and we're doing eBay and Amazon, and we were all about saying, okay, focus your energy in one place and be better at that. So I kind of did that, and I'm like fully invested and dedicated to eBay. So like if I lost eBay out of the blue, I'm not sure I know what I would do. I know I have a big following on Facebook, and I have like toy channels and toy groups where people know me and I could sell there. But I really don't like to sell on Facebook because of the time it takes, and people, asking you for more stuff and asking you, and you have to, be reminding them to pay and whatever. So like, I don't like the manual aspect of that. So I've, ever since this happened to you again, like Sally was saying, it's kind of like a lesson for all of us to kind of learn or think about what would be your exit, or what would be your next move. I'm thinking heavily about that because I have a lot of items, and as you said, I have an operation here, and I have staff that I have to pay, and so to me is something I'm going to be thinking about, and following you guys as well this time to see what would be that strategy, or what would be my next outlet, or what I would be doing. I'm not sure at this point, really. I'm not scared about it, but it got me thinking, because if somebody like you with the kind of sales you have and the kind of resources you have got suspended and did not get any special treatment, man, I can't imagine somebody like us. Again, just an email, and you can't even reply to the email. So man, I don't have a great answer for you, but I'll definitely think about it.
This is important because anyone in this group that is mastering eBay is definitely the hardest. So just to like Facebook Marketplace, Mercari, Poshmark, much easier to list. Different, maybe more difficult to manage the store. eBay has a lot of store tools for running a store. As far as listing, though, that will be the easy part. Getting the stuff onto a different platform. Go ahead.
And it got me thinking, because I kind of have, like, I've been selling my parts and all of that as normal, and that part has been growing, but I've been slowly starting to add my collectibles that are like part of even my collection. So these are pieces that are more expensive, and it got me thinking, because I have items that are $5,000, $8,000, one item, one figure, and it's the same thing. I've been collecting for a long time, so I have a valuable collection, and I don't have paperwork. I've been collecting for a long time. So how do you prove that you bought this off somebody or off some place? You don't have that kind of, but if they sell, they're going to sell for thousands of dollars, because that's what it is. These are unique items, are harder. So, either don't sell them on eBay or sell them somewhere else. Like, I don't know. It got me thinking, and I have to, because I have tons of items that are expensive. I just have not listed. So what I've been doing is just like mixing them in little by little, adding $100 items now, maybe $200 items on top of the 40 and the 50 and the 60s, and just doing it slowly. But I never thought that something like happened to you would have could happen to any of us. So it got me thinking, man. I'll leave it there.
Okay. That well, we'll go to Scott. Scott, go ahead. Maybe not. Scott, are you?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, did you call on me? Yeah. So I was wondering about the wisdom of are you the biggest eBay broadcaster on YouTube? It looks like you are.
I am for sure. Well, at least I'm not the most followers for people who talk about YouTube, or eBay, but I think that I'm definitely the number one resource for eBay education. So
Right. And so taking you out, and also I think you have a big part in saving sellers that might otherwise drop off the platform and giving them a way to make enough money that they stay on. So I'm just really questioning the wisdom of of just taking you out like that, because basically you took out one of the biggest cheerleaders for eBay. And couple that with their strategic vision, which was to move into high-end stuff like sneakers. And
Yeah.
then basically they're signaling that we're going into high-end sneakers, but you can't do it. Like only the big players that can buy wholesale with invoices can do it. And so a lot of the regular people like us are being dissuaded that we're not allowed to participate in what the new direction of eBay is. So I think those two things together is, I just think, a huge misfire from a marketing standpoint.
Well, I will tell you, they did not take this lightly. So it wasn't like I got a face-to-face call with eBay. That's very unusual. So they told me this comes from the top. We can't accept this level of risk. That's the point. The point, even if I had invoices from my friend or those are essentially fake invoices because they're not from a distributor. Samples don't have invoices. They also didn't cost anything. All the shoes that I sold were free. They were given to a celebrity. And also, I saw an Instagram post. Someone had $100,000 worth of sneakers stolen. This is not that scenario. Okay, when they reviewed the shoes, it's not like I had all the latest run from Foot Locker. You know what I mean? Like, because during the pandemic there was crazy looting. It's not that kind of stuff. So it's difficult. It's not a it is different. So in the chat, people are saying they hear backpedaling. I'm not backpedaling as far as cross listing. I still don't think you should cross list. One of the most dangerous things you can do is diversify your attention. So I don't want to diversify my attention. I'm going to take my time, pick a different platform, learn how to do it. And people are asking, what about my Whatnot? Whatnot is profitable. If I decided to switch to Whatnot, it would replace my eBay income. The one problem I have with Whatnot is it doesn't make money while I'm sleeping like eBay. I have to stream in order to make money on Whatnot. On eBay, I do not. It is put the store up, it makes money 24 hours a day. I've never blanked. Since 2017, I've never not sold something. That's 1,700 days of continuous income. So I need to figure out a way to sell on a searchable platform, whether that's Shopify or Mercari or Poshmark. People can type in what they're looking for, and my item can pop up, and I can master how to rise to the top of the search algorithm. That would be my advantage. If I can figure out how to get that income going 24/7. eBay is very unusual in the sense that there's not a good competitor. I don't consider Mercari or Poshmark competition. They're nothing compared to eBay. It's not even combined. They don't do what eBay does in one day all year. It's not even close. Philip, then Thomas.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, obviously, like, you and Isaiah kind of have an idea that, like, Poshmark is a place to be if you're doing, like, clothes or shoes. But, like, imagine, like, me, like, I sell toys, like, stuffed animals, dolls, or, like, the dude that sells, like, electrical stuff. I'm not really, like, worried about, like, getting kicked off eBay. But what would you suggest, like, ways of kind of researching other avenues? Because I don't, like, from what I've seen, like, Facebook does not give you, like, as detailed of an idea of, like, what market there is for, like, certain categories. So, like, how do you think you would navigate finding a different platform or, like, outsource for, I guess, not so common categories.
Can you repeat the first part?
Yeah. So did you hear? I was basically saying, so like clothing, shoe sellers, you guys sell on Poshmark, it's kind of like a given. But for people who sell like the not so common categories, like
Oh, I see.
stuffed animals, electrical stuff, like how do you like analyze what platform is like a good move? Because I mean, I don't see other apps that have like as detailed of like souls or seeing like how big the market is and like how often
So it is interesting you talk about plush and toys because I think I received 700 emails last night, and a lot of them are suppliers. Tons of suppliers reached out. Like there's a company called bigplush.com, and they manufacture giant teddy bears and stuffed animals and deliver them to people. They're on Shopify. They're like, why don't you just open a Shopify store? You only need 20 customers a day. You have 100 and whatever thousands of followers I have. I could 100% sell 20. I did a lot of hard things already. I built an audience. I built supply chains. But I think, Philip, selling unusual categories is fine. Just need to make sure that you become a reputable dealer. If you like, there's a lot of huge sellers on eBay that do not need invoices. Okay. I didn't leave any information out. I know exactly why I was suspended, and I gave people the teachable moment. So the people who are on YouTube, I think people don't understand the gravity of selling high-end items without invoices. You're asking to be suspended. I don't have the ability to buy either. How did I let my workers watch me record that video yesterday? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the same thing would apply to like selling a bunch of new attacks items as well without invoices. Would that be the case for you as well? Like if you had,
yeah, people get suspended all the time for selling brand new items with the receipt. You get 12 pictures. Thomas, next, you get 12 pictures on eBay, right? You could include 11 pictures of every single angle of the item. Number 12 photo is the receipt of you buying it from the store, and you upload a video of you buying it from the store, you could still be suspended. That's not a valid invoice. It's not the same as like you have an invoice from Luxottica saying you are allowed to sell Gucci sunglasses. That's very different. That's an actual invoice. Thomas? Thank you for your puppy.
So, of course, yes, she's necessary. So one thing I didn't think about is the fact that you got 10 million inputs from 10 million suppliers, which allows you to pretty much just buy some stuff and immediately throw it up on Shopify. The thing that makes me, that differentiates you is, again, you're following. If you wanted to, you could jump into any real category. But for something that's more applicable to normal people, we can't sell a bunch of I'm just going to say junk, trash women's clothes that are, pretty random for $30 a pop. We can't sell those on a Shopify site because we can't drive our own traffic to it. But what we could do is probably have some very sort of niche product that would sell itself. And if you're already really interested in a product, like let's say shoes in this case, why don't you have your own Shopify store or something that would allow you to be interested in shoes and at the same time would drive traffic to itself, and you could use your own following to do it yourself. Obviously you could do the wholesale, jump onto some other trash platform, and you have YouTube. But if you want to do something that's like applicable to the common man, I don't think you could just jump into selling plush on Shopify.
Yeah, definitely not. Or Amazon. I think Amazon does not relate to the common man or woman. It's very different.
I'll also say to whoever just commented, TV doesn't work. I found TV on the side of the road. TV doesn't actually work. I'm currently debating whether to spend $50 to have someone look at it and gamble on a $250 lamp or just buy a new one.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Oh, so Jasper in the chat is saying this suspension happens to a lot of people who sell used Apple products. So here we go. This is not even a new product. And also for reference, 99% of the shoes that I sold were used. because my friend wore them. So unfortunately, I mean, I wish they had been, new. Um, so yeah, I mean, people are saying, why did I take the risk? That's a good question. I guess tempted by easy money. Today, our podcast at 2 p.m. Is going to be a banger because Tech is going to explain to me essentially, I told you so, because I was not supposed to do that and I knew that. So it's going to be good because, I didn't get special treatment from eBay other than they told me in person, which is nice. No one wants to be broken up with over text. And then, Tech can lay it down because the teachable moment here is that everyone should take their time, grow a platform, do things the right way, grow slowly. No one gets suspended for growing slowly. That's never the case. I've been doing this for so long. The way I got suspended is the same as everybody else, except for it took way longer. I stopped selling shoes January 19th, and it bit me in the ass 3 months later. Most people, and that's because I did at least have some volume. But if you were a normal seller and all of a sudden you started selling 10,000 a day, you'd be suspended, guaranteed. Style Factory is asking about, are vintage t-shirts risky? They can be. There are more and more fake vintage t-shirts. There's prints that happen on vintage old stock. It's depends on your history. So it's the more often you do it, the less risky. So I would just do it often and slowly scale up. And Sticker Joe is saying every seller should have backup platforms ready. Yeah, I think you should have backup platforms ready, but try not to use them because you don't want to diversify your attention. Appreciate the super chat. Let's go. And I do not want to GoFundMe because my opinion on GoFundMe is it should be used for people who cannot help themselves. There's a lot of people that are in horrible situations, can't work. That is not my situation. I have plenty of ability to make my own money. So I do not want that. Do not start that. I have not decided which platform to sell on yet. Let's go with John.
I mean, go to different platforms easy, but let's say I didn't want to fool with that. I'd probably look at a retail space and try to do that. If I had to wait a month, well, I'm hitting the yard sale and flea and buy two, get one, $300 in an ad. If I didn't have a yard to sell in, I'd probably run from somebody who did. I'll pitch you $100. Let me sell your books on your lawn all weekend long.
Yep.
And then figure it out from there where I really want to go long term. But that'd be the short term to, hey, I need bills come every day. I got to pay them every day. So hustle and grind.
Yep. Hustle and grind. Gerald's asking, what am I going to do with the high-end inventory I can't sell? I don't have that much left. I have maybe 20 or 30 pairs. It's worth maybe 100K still. I'll just either keep them or rainy day fund, or actually, okay, to be honest, not that this is dishonest, but the reason why I was selling them on eBay is because there was 0% fees. I think you guys remember that. That's why this opportunity popped up. If there wasn't 0% fees, I wouldn't have done that because the margin was so low. Selling collections doesn't really make sense because somebody who bought something for $300 and kept it for 10 years and now it's worth $500, they want $400 for it. It's not like you can say, how about 200? They're going to make money on their investment. They kept it for 10 years in perfect condition. In this scenario, not perfect condition because he wore them, but people who sell their collections do not give away their stuff. It's very difficult. If Eduardo went to a G.I. Joe collector, he's going to pay what the guy paid or more. It's worth more. Somebody's been collecting G.I. Joe for 20 years. The collection is worth a fortune. There's no low ball situation. It's a low profit. So if G.I. Joe's, if eBay said, you know what, this month, G.I. Joe, no eBay fees. It'd be crazy. There would be so much valuable G.I. Joe stuff popping up with no invoices. Because how do you even do that? So that's a unique situation where I would not do that. Also, Roro is saying I should start a new selling platform. That's impossible. It's so hard to start a platform. Like these companies get tens or hundreds of millions of dollars to start platforms that are so clunky and difficult to navigate. It's not that easy. eBay is old, but it's not that broken. Most people can start listing stuff and start making money immediately. So it's not. Josh says, does this change my opinion on cross listing? It does not. And now that I have my full attention, it's going to be wherever I put my attention now, that will be big. Because I think all accidents happen in the slow lane. It's easier to run a store that has 30 listings or more a day. So I want to get, full attention onto one other platform. I don't have a different opinion on cross listing. Okay, let me tell you this. My incomes are related, but they're not on the same thing. So like yesterday, I knew this would happen too. When I was talking to Christine, because she's my videographer. So I worry about her job security. And I was like, I knew this already. When I hired her, I said, the only thing that would make me fire you is if I lost my YouTube account. If I don't have the ability to make YouTube, you can't be my videographer. And she said, great, I'll just switch to working in your eBay store. That's fine. Because she had originally applied for that. No issues. So I'm really lucky because all my employees are kind of like ride or die. They want to stay with me. So then when I mean, this is really unfortunate that it happened this way, but yesterday was my biggest day on YouTube ever. And I'm sure that it's going to continue to do like that, continue to go like this. So now I just need to switch to something else. That's not what I wish. I was playing 4D chess and I planned this. I'm going to get suspended in April 2022 and leverage that into my new platform, but I did not plan that. I wish I was that smart.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's going to be the content that the people enjoy right now is the fight for something new. There's a lot of people in these last 2-3 years that have lost their job and maybe didn't find that other path. It's like there's a lot of people that it just went through what you're going through. There's a lot of people that are going to relate to that. That's just like, that's real life stuff. It's like now you're out reselling and some, real stuff.
Yeah. I think everyone does think about that. Like what does happen when your eBay store gets suspended? I want everyone to comment that so I can get an idea. So Vanessa is saying, this is why. Okay. She's saying, why is it a 0% fee angle matter when I know all the buyers? That's a good question. So because I've been selling shoes for so long, I know a lot of the big collectors. So I could just text them and say, hey, do you want to buy these? But the thing is, high-end transactions are risky. So most people want to buy it with a credit card. Me doing it through eBay was like a super hack because eBay would authenticate the sneakers. They would collect the payment and they would handle any issues. Although I did not have any issues, no returns or refunds on it. But that's the reason. eBay was taking a loss every single time you sold an idea. Like it was an unbelievable pivot to try to get eBay back onto the sneaker scene. They paid millions and millions of dollars to do that. I also want to clarify. I don't know if those people are listening. The NDA that I signed with eBay is not about this, about being suspended. The NDA I signed was for different fees. I got different fees because of my volume on sneakers. So I need to clarify that later today as well. So I don't want to disclose that because a lot of people said it is common knowledge. People with larger stores, larger volume do get different fees. I just don't want to disclose that because I signed an agreement and I'm just not like that. I did not sign an agreement for my meeting with eBay yesterday. It was the shortest meeting ever. It was, thank you for your time on eBay. We wanted to let you know in person because you've been, big influencer for us. Appreciate your time. The information you provided is not adequate evidence to overturn the suspension. Thank you. Have a nice day. It was not complicated. So people are saying here that I got suspended probably for volume and not the sneakers. That's probably true. I think if I was selling anything at that kind of crazy volume off the bat, it's suspicious, and invoices would help because they want you to